Say your line exactly as I'm about to. Just as I'm about to do.
Sure, okay.
Would that it were so simple.
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 My dear boy, why do you say that? Why do you say twere?
Well, you should say it like I said it.
Yes, but...
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple. Would that it were so simple.
Watch my mouth. Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Keep your head still. Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
I'm trying to say that, Mr. Lawrence.
Lawrence,
I thought a minute ago it was Lawrence.
No, we can use Christian names, my good dear boy. Lawrence is fine, just as I call you Hobie.
Okay.
So, would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple. Trippingly.
Would that it were so simple. Trippingly.
No, don't say trippingly. Say the line trippingly.
Welcome to Kermode Uncut. There's a new Coen Bros film out this week, Hail Caesar, which I've been looking forward to ever since the trailers.
Simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple. Would that it were so simple. Would that it were so simple. Would that it were so simple.
The Coen Brothers were on the Radio 5 live show I do with Simon Mayo, talking to Simon last Friday, and I'm very hyped up for today's screening. So I thought I'd start off with a top 5 Coen Brothers movie rundown, and I have to say, it was really hard to get it down to just 5.
And at number 5, Miller's Crossing, a film which apparently came from a single image, the image of a hat in a forest being blown through an avenue of trees.
I love Miller's Crossing, and yet I'm not entirely sure what it's about. There's more than a touch of Dashiell Hammett about it. It has since become accepted as a modern classic, despite the fact that, like some of the Coen Brothers' best work, it actually lost money on its original release.
Okay, kid, think about it. It's a mental state. If it'll help you think, you should know that if you don't do this thing, you're not gonna be in any shape to walk out of here.
Would that be physically, or just a mental state?
And at number 4, No Country for Old Men, a real Oscar favourite. Won the Oscar for Best Film, Best Director, Best Screenplay, and, of course, Best Supporting Actor for Javier Bardem and his scary hair. It is clearly the best screen adaptation of Cormac McCarthy. My only complaint is it didn't win the Oscar for Best Cinematography.
A man would have to put his soul at hazard. You'd have to say, okay, I'll be part of this world.
And let's pretend that
I know where you can get those frames.
At number 3 in my rundown of top 5 Coen Brothers movies, their debut feature, Blood Simple. Now this holds a very special place in my heart because for a long time that played on the rep circuit here in the UK as a double bill with The Evil Dead. Big connection between the Coens and Sam Raimi. Like Sam Raimi, they raised money for the film by making a short. They made a 2-minute trailer for Blood Simple to show people what it was going to be like. It's a really brilliantly stripped down work. Their first film, one of their very best, shot by Barry Sonnenfeld, who went on to be a very respected director in his own right, and one of the few cases in which the director's cut is shorter than the original.
Isn't that wild?
Which brings me to the top 2, and I have to say I wrestled with myself about this. There were 2 films that were absolutely vying for the top spot, but in the end, at number 2, Barton Fink, for my money, the best film ever made about the horrors of making a film. John Turturro is the playwright who comes to Hollywood to make art and ends up writing Wallace Beery B-movie wrestling pictures. You know the drill, big men in tights. Then at the centre of it, we have John Goodman, an extraordinary performance, the thing that tips the film over from comedy into horror. As far as John Turturro's Barton Fink is concerned, well, we've all got that Barton Fink feeling, but since he is Barton Fink, I guess he's got it in spades. As far as John Goodman's concerned, I'll show you the life of the mind.
Most guys I just feel sorry for. It tears me up inside to think about what they're going through, how trapped they are. I understand it. I feel for them. So I try and help them out.
Which brings me to the number one spot, my favourite Coen's movie. And yeah, you betcha, you know what it is. It's Fargo. The opening of the film tells you that this is a true story, that the names have been changed at the request of survivors, but to respect the dead, everything else is presented exactly as it happened. Well, it didn't. It's made up. But the Coen said that they thought the idea of telling people that it was a true story would help them believe in things that were otherwise unbelievable. But who couldn't believe in a figure as brilliant as Marge Gunderson, with her Scandi accent, her morning sickness bathing, and her determination to solve this execution-type deal?
I'd be very surprised if our suspect was from Brainerd.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, from his footprint, he looks like a big fella.
The Coens said that the fact that Marge was pregnant just gave her more heft. It made her more of an imposing screen presence. It also demonstrated that Frances McDormand is, frankly, one of the greatest living screen actresses. I love Fargo. I know that now there's a TV spin-off which many people like. I have to say I haven't seen it, and frankly, I don't want to, because as far as I'm concerned, Fargo itself is untouchable. Yeah, you betcha.
I'm on my way out of town, but I was wondering, do you mind if I sit down? Carrying a bit of a load here.
No.
Yeah, it's this vehicle I asked you about yesterday. I was just wondering.
Yeah, like I told you, we haven't had any vehicles go missing.
Okay. Are you sure? Because, I mean, how do you know? Because see, the crime I'm investigating, the perpetrators were driving a car with dealer plates, and they called someone who works here, so it'd be quite a coincidence if they weren't, you know, connected.
So there we are, my Coen Brothers top 5. I mean, what do you think? I regret the absence of a serious man. I really wanted to get Hudsucker Proxy in there, you know, for kids. And I almost put The Big Lebowski in the top 5, which is a big deal for me, because as you probably know, if you're a regular here, for a long time I didn't get The Big Lebowski. It took me several views until I finally understood its genius. None of those I could get into the top 5. What do you think I should have had in there? What is your favourite Coen Brothers movie? And if you've seen Hail Caesar already, was it great? I'm off to see it now, and my fingers are crossed.
Cut. 27 Apple, take 2.